Hey, what's up, guys? Tyler here, back with Secure Team. Something I thought, I figured many of you would never hear again, but I'm back. And I understand the mystery. Where has Tyler been? Where have I gone? And since then, there have been a lot of conspiracy theories, a lot of talk about what happened to me, why the 2-week disappearance. And I guess I kind of set myself up a little bit with that because a couple of my last videos before this sort of 2-week hiatus, I had been talking about being under a little bit of stress, how I had just been grinding on the channel for the past 5 years, basically carrying the UFO topic on my shoulders, building a secure team to where it was today. And just had taken no time for myself or my family, and I just kind of burned myself out. Not on the topic, but literally burned myself out. So I just needed to take, a small break, step back, spend some time with my family, and that's what I was doing. Well, because this month, for whatever reason, chose to be hectic for me, and chose for things to just go wrong one after the other, after I had taken my little break and decided to come back, something else happened that took me away from the channel for yet another 2 weeks. And before I let you guys know what that was, I just want to give you a little example of what happens on the internet where a fairly popular YouTuber disappears for a few days, and the types of conspiracy theories, some really crazy stuff that pops up online and that certain people are putting out there. And so a viewer sent this to me the other day. He said, "Tyler, I'm freaking out. I just read this. Please don't do what you're going to do or what we think you're going to do." And I said, "Hey, everything's fine. What is it you think I'm going to do?" And he sent me a link to a post that I think was on Reddit or maybe 4chan. But that post you're seeing here, and, long story short, because I don't want to read all of it, some of the words in it and the topics described in it would likely get this whole video demonetized. But as you can read from the title of the post here, sitting, by the way, next to a very dashing photograph of myself, if I say so, but it says, "Tyler of Secure Team likely on SSRI drugs," or in other words, antidepressants. And it goes on to talk about how most people know who Secure Team is and the guy who runs it, and that I have likely been put on SSRI, antidepressants, and some sort of psychiatric sedatives. It says here that, quote, "He has recently said he was feeling depressed, and being an American, he most likely visited a doctor to talk about it. It's also entirely possible that his recent depression is entirely due to already having been on this type of medication for months or years. Now, why would he already be on them? Because, number one, he was in a motorcycle accident, and it's very possible he was given some form of drugs belonging to this sort of antidepressant class, and that basically, bottom line here, it ends with, we can thus establish the likelihood of Tyler being on these medications, and that I am, quote, very likely to commit blank." I don't want to say it, but very likely to off myself, or attempt to in the near future. This all according to the poster here, and due to these psych drugs that they're saying that I'm on. So he ends his post with, "So don't be surprised if Tyler suddenly stops uploading and a new video never comes." And of course they use yet another photo lifted from Google of me, taken from a video I posted when I indeed was in my motorcycle accident last year. If you guys were with me at that time, I was in a really bad street bike motorcycle accident, broke my leg just totally in half, was in the hospital for a week, and half of my leg is full of titanium rods and screws. I feel like the Terminator. But other than that, I was fine, and I'm back walking again, back out playing basketball, back to it. And so I just wanted to give you a little example of the theories that have been going around since my absence. And this is, sort of the crazy stuff. While I understand it, people come to theories like this. I first just wanted to clear up that no, everything is fine. I am not on any psych meds, I assure you. When I mentioned being stressed in my past videos, that was just regular life stress. I think everyone gets it. I wasn't hinting that something was coming or that you guys needed to worry about anything. It was just everyday stress. And as for where I have been, the truth about where I have been, well, like I said, I took a little break to spend time with myself, and right as I was about to come back to work, I got a call from a family member informing me that another close family member of mine had unfortunately and suddenly passed away. So as you can imagine, I had to pack up, I had to travel, go to funerals, go to remembrances, and I haven't been home since. I've been traveling and grieving and spending time with family, and have literally just got back home in the past day or two. So now that I'm back home, I'm able to work, but I just want to let you guys know I'm fine. Everything's great. Your boy's back. You know, I've hated not being able to work and bring you the best news that you can possibly get on this topic of aliens and UFOs. We've had some other channels out here helping out, but Secure Team's where it's at. And I've worked very hard over the years to get it to that point. So I'm really excited to jump back in, and well, let's just do it. Let's get back to it and jump in with this very first video. So the first topic of discussion that I want you guys to check out today is the fact that the Navy, and you'll remember one of my last videos I did a story about this, the Navy came out publicly and stated that they are planning to once again begin documenting UFO sightings from the people of the world. And that was an amazing news story. You know, the Navy, well known, and all the other branches of the government, well known for keeping secrets, especially as it pertains to UFOs and aliens, all the way leading back to the Roswell incident and the cover-up that happened afterwards. A lot of secrecy. So people were excited when the Navy came out and said, well, we're opening back up the books. We want to know what you're seeing. We want to document it. We want you to send us your stuff. Very similar to what I do here on Secure Team, but on a government level. Which makes me nervous in another way, but we can talk about that later. But yeah, they said, yes, we are going to open back up the books and document UFO sightings, your UFO sightings. And people were ecstatic, as they should have been. I think it just goes to show how the government is more opening up, being more open to this topic. Well, now, as if we didn't know, a big, giant letdown was on the way. We now have the, I guess, full press release to their original sort of tease piece, which now reads that, yes, the Navy does plan to document UFO sightings, but they are going to keep them entirely confidential. So yeah, aliens and UFOs around the world, take note, because the U.S. Navy plans to set up an official reporting and investigative system that will monitor reports from its pilots about unidentified flying objects. But while this X-Files worthy operation sounds newsy, don't expect to hear details about it anytime soon. The Navy doesn't intend to make the data public, citing the privileged and classified information that these reports usually include. And so, in fact, beyond just this announcement that the Navy is setting up this UFO reporting procedure, no release of information to the general public is going to be expected. And that's from the head guy. And yeah, the upcoming procedure comes in the wake of other government-related UFO news, where in late 2017, word came out that the Pentagon had a secret UFO office that spent some $22 million over 5 years to study strange and threatening aeronautical events. The tic-tac-toe events, the videos that you're seeing here, where these unidentified objects were playing tag with these aircraft carriers off the coast of California. And, you know, I mean, I gotta say here, guys, while I understand that the Navy doing this could make some people happy, because it sounds like they are moving toward a more transparent UFO documenting apparatus, but when they, dangle news like this in front of us and then say, oh, by the way, all of the really cool video and audio that we're going to be getting from our pilots of these UFOs that can dive from 65,000 feet high down just to above 5 feet high above sea level, make sharp right-hand turns, and then blast back off into space, we're going to keep that quiet. You guys aren't getting any of that. I mean, it would be the same concept if I suddenly told you guys, okay, hey, we're changing the way we do Secure Team. You guys keep sending in your footage, keep sending in strange news, but I'm not making any more videos about it, and you're not going to hear about it. So you can send it in, give it all to me. I'll look at it, I'll analyze it, but no videos of it. You guys don't get to see it. And so, yeah, this is hogwash to me, and that's where we are. The Navy is basically wasting their time here. If anything, it's just going to anger the UFO research community, and all it's going to do for me is I'm going to step up my game here on Secure Team, just like we've always done. We've never depended on any outside government help. We've never depended on any other UFO documentation outlets. And that's what we want. We want the raw stuff, the raw intelligence. And that's what you guys are going to get and continue to get here on Secure Team. So tell me down below, what do you think about this little game that the Navy and the government is playing here? So now in other news, some UFO news, I want you guys to check out this clip. It was taken by someone with a very high-powered telescope who was recording planet Jupiter, where you can see Jupiter, you can see a couple of its moons. And during this recording, he captures something very strange, where it appears that at least twice during this recording, what only can be described as a wave of some sort, an invisible wave, passes over the planet Jupiter, giving off this sort of hologram type sight, you know what I mean? And then does it again. It happens twice, so you're seeing that video here. All right, there's one line passing right over it, and there it is. Very creepy. Now, when I originally first saw this, I mean, Jupiter is a strange planet. There's a lot of mythology surrounding Jupiter, as well as planet Saturn. But when you talk about UFOs in space, there are two main planets where astrophysicists and scientists and researchers alike have always come to the conclusion that these UFOs that are out in space seem to, for one reason or another, like to proliferate or do whatever they are doing out near these two planets, Jupiter and Saturn. Now, as I was watching this, it reminded me of a video posted by the YouTube channel Crow777, who a couple of years back, and many of you may have seen it, posted a video where he has this really high-tech telescope set up recording the moon, and he caught something very similar, what can only be described as a big long wave passing over the moon, later sparking talks of the moon being a hologram, and that this was some sort of glitch happening with the moon. However, what I'm seeing here, and you guys will realize this too, is that if you're looking at these two moons here, off to the left of Jupiter, you'll know that this strange line isn't just circling planet Jupiter, because as you watch as the lines start passing down, the lines are stretching and affecting the two moons here, causing distortions on not only Jupiter, but its moons. And you can clearly see that distortion as this invisible wave passes those. Okay, so as you guys are seeing here, whatever this is, it's some sort of mystery line, mystery wave that is passing by. What I think we can deduce from here is that it's not coming from within Jupiter. Jupiter is not glitching out. We're not looking at a hologram of Jupiter. But what I do think this shows is that something is happening out there near Jupiter and passed by the planet and its moons. A wave of something. A ship that was possibly cloaked and that just took the appearance of a wave, but something massive and long, massive enough that it would be able to pass in front of Jupiter and its moons, causing distortion on all three of them. Well, that makes me think there's just some sort of rogue, cloaked wave passing by twice. And that's all I got. But it definitely makes you think that there's something there sort of passing by, not really interacting with the planets, but passing in front of them, causing this distortion. The only question is, what was it that is causing this distortion out in deep space? So I will leave that up to you guys, and we'll see what more telescopic footage we can get. Now, lastly today, I want to show you some very interesting photographs snapped with a high-powered telephoto lens of a bright UFO, bright, unidentified flying object that looked to have been taking off from the top of Mount Shasta in California. So the photographer who took these says that when visiting his mother in Mount Shasta on 4/17, I was taking pictures of the mountain. I called my son, who was in our vehicle parked nearby waiting for me, and I asked if it was my imagination or was that a star just above Mount Shasta moving. Well, he wasn't sure. But anyway, when I got home to my mom's and uploaded the photos, I noticed that the picture with the so-called star that I thought was moving earlier was actually hovering over the mountain. And just below and to the right, as you look at the picture, there was a gray cigar-shaped object and something on the side of it reaching up toward that so-called star. Now, if you'll watch my videos in the past, you'll know that these objects also, for some reason, like to proliferate near volcanoes. Not only will you see strange lights hovering around these gigantic volcanoes, but you will see lights coming straight up and out of the mouth of these volcanoes. I don't know what they're doing. It's almost like some Star Trek stuff, where in the movie they fly down into the volcano and freeze everything in order to keep it from erupting and destroying this entire alien planet. And so we've seen these things, cigar-shaped objects jetting up out of volcanoes and then stuff like this, which is happening everywhere, around hills, mountains. And as you're seeing in this first set of pictures here, definitely something hovering up or passing by this mountain here. Originally, maybe it looks like a balloon lit up from the inside, but then you definitely see this sort of elongated metallic post or arm coming off the back of it. See the light again, and the arm seems to have disappeared, but there's something going on here, some sort of structure that makes me think, well, it doesn't look like a drone to me. It doesn't look like your typical little balloon with a string blowing in the wind. I mean, the thing is obviously lit up from the inside. So, yeah, I wanted you guys to check these out. Really interesting set of photographs. You know, in this video age, I still love to get some well-made photographs like this, where we still have good photographers out there in the world who can hold a shot still and get the shot and get multiple frames of it. And it's another beautiful way to document these UFOs. They don't always have to be on video. Photographs are just as good. And, you know, photographs were what we had to work with at the very beginning. So tell me what you guys think. Anybody near Mount Shasta, if you see these things, keep your cameras and your telephoto lenses ready. And send it into Secure Team if you get it. My email and contact information is down below. All right, so with that, guys, I'm just getting back. If you want more, if you're in with it and you want to join the team, all you got to do is stop back here with the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will see you all back very, very soon. Stay safe, guys.